Good morning, Valder. How are you?
I'm very well, Dr. Stitt. Thank you for asking. And I understand you brought a friend, Jody. Jody, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
I want to thank you both for being here, and I'd like to let my audience know I'll be talking to Dr. Stitt. She's going to be telling us a little bit about a new nationwide survey about genetics. Dr. Stitt, what is this survey about, and who did it?
Good morning to Valder and to your audience. And thank you so much for having us. Such an important topic during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is October. Myriad Genetics did a study, this year where we discovered that 80% of women are afraid to get different screenings because they're afraid of what they might find out. Even though three-quarters of those women would be very reassured by those results. And, I see this every day when I talk to my patients. Women are so busy. We are involved in taking care of our families. We're involved in our careers and our jobs. And, having one more little thing that might kind of distort that very carefully crafted balance that we have can be a little bit nerve wracking. So even though women understand intellectually that this is something that we need to do, things like mammograms and blood work and genetic testing sometimes gets put on the back burner because you're taking care of everybody else. But I tell my patients that, no news is not necessarily good news. If you have an abnormal family history of cancer, that risk is still there, and it might you might have an increased risk of developing cancer in your lifetime. So having information about your family history, getting testing like MyRisk hereditary cancer test with risk score is an amazing opportunity to be in control along with your provider and crafting something that is specific for each individual person.
Dr. Stitt, I'm going to talk to Jody for a moment. Jody, I know you intersect with what Dr. Stitt is saying very well. You have a family history of cancer. Can you tell me why you decided genetic testing may be the way for you to go if you chose that?
I did. And good morning. I have a long family history of cancer. My grandfather had male breast cancer, his mother. So I knew I was at a higher risk, but I didn't know how high, right? So when I spoke with my clinician, she recommended the MyRisk hereditary cancer screening test. It was scary at first. I was very scared to get the results, but once I got them, I did find out that I was BRCA2 positive for the mutation. And it was a relief just to know the answer. Um, with that, I was empowered to make choices in my healthcare. I decided to have my ovaries removed to reduce my risk of ovarian cancer. I had a bilateral mastectomy to reduce, having breast cancer. In my opinion, my clinician and the MyRisk test saved my life. And I encourage women to get the test done. Yes, it's scary, but you have more choices when you're armed with the information.
Jody, what a powerful testament. I want to thank you for sharing from your personal life. Dr.
Thank you.
Stitt, is Jody's story normal after someone says yes to something like this?
I don't know that there's any particular normal, but yes, Jody's experience is what I have seen with many of my patients before, and there's, about 10% of patients who have a strong family history of cancer will have some type of genetic mutation. But there are also some patients who may not necessarily have a mutation, but they're not just like everybody else. That's where the MyRisk hereditary cancers test with risk score stands out apart from other tests that you might have availability to get, because even those patients who may not necessarily have a mutation may still need additional management. But as we get into the holiday season where families are going to get together, just like in Jody's case, we encourage our patients to ask questions. Do you have lots of family members on the same side of the family with a similar cancer, like in Jody's case, lots of breast cancer? Or do you have rare cancers in your family? Jody's grandfather had male breast cancer. We don't often hear of men who have breast cancer, so that is a rare cancer. Ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, also in those rare categories. And lastly, do you have lots of people who are young, under the age of 50 with cancer? Those are all red flags that, will kind of alert your clinician that you may not be like everybody else. You may not necessarily just need to have mammograms or just colonoscopy, say at age 50. You might need to get things done a little bit sooner. So having that information arms yourself, it arms your provider with being able to get more information and individualizing a care plan for you.
I have one more question. I'm going to take this from Facebook for you, Dr. Sid. The poster would love to know if you only have maybe one member with one type of cancer. Is that considered a lot?
Well, it just really depends on what that cancer is. If you have, if your mom had ovarian cancer, that's a rare cancer. Yes, that is something that, along with your clinician, that is a risk factor. But if it was something, say, like your grandmother had breast cancer at 75, breast cancer is not rare. 15% of the population will end up having of women will have breast cancer in their lifetime. So I think a lot of that is, that's the whole importance of the individualized treatment. Each patient needs to have that conversation with their clinician, with their provider, that will help direct them into getting what needs to be done individually for them.
Final question for you, Jody. Anyone who's hesitant or shocked at your story, what would you say to them if you had an opportunity to talk direct to them?
Please get tested. It's better to know and have the information up front so you can tailor your plan for yourself. My daughter also has the BRCA2 mutation, and she took a different route. She does extensive testing and additional testing to make sure that she's okay, because she hasn't had a family yet. But it's a simple blood test or a mouth swab, and the results, although maybe scary, are vital to you making decisions in your healthcare.
Sid, I'm going to wrap up with you. Where do you want my audience to go? Because you've given them a lot of great, rich information. Where do you go online and get more?
I would love it if each one of your listeners goes to getmyrisk.com. You can get some additional information that will help to personalize a care plan for you along with your provider. Getmyrisk.com.
I want to thank you both, Jody and Dr. Stead, for being here and talking about something we need to talk more about. I hope we talk about this beyond Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.